Imagine waking up one day and losing your home, your garden, your perfect life, all because of one mistake. That is exactly what happened to Adam and Eve. But here is the part nobody talks about. What happened to them after they left the garden? The gates of Eden closed behind them with a sound that echoed through eternity. Adam and Eve stood outside the garden, the only home they had ever known, and looked at the world before them. It was so different. The ground was dry and hard. Thorns and thistles grew where beautiful flowers once bloomed. The air felt heavier. The sky looked different. Everything that had been effortless and free now felt difficult and uncertain. Eve held Adam's hand tightly, and for the first time in their lives, they cried. Real tears, real pain, real regret. They had lost paradise, and they knew deep in their hearts that it was their own fault. They had never worked a day in their lives. Everything had been provided freely, but now, for the very first time, Adam and Eve had to figure out how to survive in a world that was no longer perfect. Adam looked at the hard ground before him. He knelt down and began to dig with his hands. He planted seeds. He pulled thorns away from the soil. He worked from sunrise to sunset, sweating and straining just to grow enough food to eat. It was hard. It was painful. It was exhausting. Eve worked beside him every single day. Together, they built a simple shelter. Together, they learned to find water. Together, they figured out how to survive in this new and difficult world. Some days were really hard. Some days they looked back toward the direction of the garden, and their hearts ached with longing for what they had lost. But they never stopped. They never gave up. Because they still had each other. And they still had God. And then something happened that had never happened before in the history of the entire world. For the very first time ever, a baby was born. Eve held her firstborn son in her arms, and tears streamed down her face. But this time, they were not tears of sadness. They were tears of pure joy. She named him Cain, and when she looked at his tiny face, she felt something shift in her heart, something new, something powerful. Hope. Then came their second son, Abel. Adam held both his sons and looked at them with wonder. These were his children, his family, made in his image, just as he had been made in the image of God. The family was growing. Life outside the garden was hard, but it was not without beauty. It was not without love. It was not without purpose. God had not abandoned them. Even outside of paradise, God was still with them. And that made all the difference. Life would never be the same as it was in the garden, but God had given them something powerful enough to face every challenge ahead. And that gift is the same gift He has given every one of us. Years passed. Cain and Abel grew up. Adam and Eve grew older. The world around them grew and changed and filled with life. Life outside the garden was not easy. It was full of challenges they had never imagined, full of struggles they had never expected. But it was also full of something else. Grace. Even after everything they had done, even after the biggest mistake in human history, God still loved Adam and Eve. He still provided for them. He still spoke to them. He still cared for them. He had clothed them when they were ashamed. He had given them children when their hearts were empty. He had given them strength when the ground was hard and the days were long. Because that is who God is. He does not stop loving us when we make mistakes. He walks with us through the consequences, and he helps us begin again. This was not the end of Adam and Eve's story. It was just a new beginning. And now, here is today's lesson for every child watching. Adam and Eve made a very big mistake. The biggest mistake anyone had ever made. And they had to face the consequences of that mistake every single day. But God did not stop loving them. And that teaches us 3 very important things. Number 1, always obey the rules. Rules are not there to make life boring. Rules are there to protect you, just like God's one rule was there to protect Adam and Eve. Number 2, when you make a mistake, do not hide from it. Face it, say sorry, and do better. Just like Adam and Eve had to face God even when they were afraid. Number 3, no matter what you have done wrong, God still loves you. Nothing you do can make God stop loving you, and that love is your greatest strength for every new day. Remember, every new day is a new beginning, just like it was for Adam and Eve. God bless you, and we will see you in the next episode of Bible Stories Alive. Subscribe to Bible Stories Alive, where the greatest stories ever told come alive for every generation.